There is an increase in the use of mobile phones with its accessories in this 21st century due to technological advancement. Mobile phone accessories such as batteries, battery chargers, mobile phones, repair parts, phone jackets and cover, memory cards, USB cables, modems, earpiece, etc. have created huge business opportunities. Now, reports from the Futures Insight market that Africa's mobile phone accessories market says it is expected to grow by $4 billion US dollars in 2026. In 2016, phone accessories market grew between 2 to 3 billion US dollars. Nigeria is Africa's largest global system of mobile communications, that's GSM market, with more than 125 million subscribers and a market penetration of about 75%. Well, the phone accessory are imported into Nigeria, and they are important components of mobile phones, making it a lucrative business as there are millions of GSM users. I have an ICT expert in the house, Idowu Akinde. He joins us now to look critically at this and also a little touch on issues around cyber security, which is very important. Thank you very much for spending your time with us.
Thank you, Chief.
Let's start this way. $4 billion US dollars, that's huge. From now to 2026, what is really going to happen?
Obviously it looks like the trend is that there will be more purchases, there will be more saturation of the market. So at 75% now, most likely we're going to deepen that penetration level and get to the 80s and the 90s percentage levels. Okay, that's one. Secondly, that's the secondary market. So the first thing usually with business for this part of the world is that we try to align with global players, manufacturers and producers, okay?
Yeah.
And we've done thus well with that. Going into the future, maybe I'm jumping the gun a bit, but my expectation is that we'll start to move away from just reselling somebody else's products, aka these accessories, to start building the local capacity to at least manufacture and produce these accessories. So maybe you want to buy a jacket for your phone today, or a USB charger for your phone. Why do you have to import it from Vietnam or from Japan or Taiwan or China? What do they have in those environments that we don't have here? You know, so these are some of the things that will trigger. Before you start to think about the huge capital investments of producing the mobile phone, at least let's produce those local things that are driving. So if we're about to start making $4 billion from the small margins, which are the profit margins, after importing somebody else's finished product, imagine what the margins would be if we can keep some of the value chain and produce them locally.
But let's stay with what we have in this part of the world at this time. That's also a market for some people. They're making ends meet one way or the other. You know how many people, jobs being created one way or the other.
It's a big
so
market.
what would you say with regards to that? The positives are also there.
Of course. No, and I'm not diminishing the value of that market. Again, being the kind of consumer-centric nature that we are, especially with technology products, you know, I think that whatever needs to be done to even promote these things more. So I have always been of the opinion that, for instance, there's nothing. So, for instance, right now we're using 75% as a saturation figure. Why can't we shoot for 150%? After all, there are many people that we know. It's not strange for people to have more than one mobile device. You know, so numbers, saturation levels above 100% are not strange. So where people in the West or in developed countries would be targeting saturation levels close to the 100%, we shouldn't be looking at 100%, because in our climb, it's not strange for people to have more than one device. So if that's the case, then let's dream big, let's go big, as the case may be. So whatever helps to stimulate that market, local importation policies, special forex windows for importers, well, maybe tax holidays, whatever will help to stimulate those markets, I believe.
We
strongly
can't
in
rule out
those
the
things.
fact that there is serious competition also in this market.
Okay.
Even when you look at the phone market,
the Far East.
today the iPhones are out, Samsungs,
Okay.
Techno, you see all of them kind of competing and everybody wants to. So what do you make of this competition?
Okay. So far the competition has played out well for us in Africa because technically speaking, we don't have the risks associated with the people who are with the players, with the people who produce these options. We are just consuming, and at the end of the day, competition forces innovation and productivity among the players, such that we, the consumers, end up enjoying higher value, higher quality products at lower prices. So, at the end of the day, whatever spectrum any African consumer, Nigerian consumer finds themselves today, what the competition has done for us is that it has ensured that we are buying it at, if not the exact optimal price for that particular device, whether it's a phone, it's a digital camera or something else. If it's not the exact optimal economic price, then it's close to that exact optimal economic price. So it's good for us.
Now, back to that report.
Okay.
Factors like economic issues on the African continent might also affect this growth, don't you think? That seems to be a reality if we want to be realistic.
Okay, just to clarify, are you talking about, let's say, political factors?
Economic factors. Look at what is happening in Nigeria.
Okay.
Growth rates slow. South Africa and all of that. Angola. You know, it's across Africa.
Okay, sure. So obviously, consumerism is closely tied to people's disposable incomes.
Exactly.
Middle class.
Purchasing power will be low and all of that.
So obviously that is a threat. And so that is another reminder to the handlers of our economy to do what needs to be done to stimulate spending. So where special financing windows need to be given to industries or market industry players to ensure that they remain relevant and they are providing the jobs needed to give people the income to spend, thereby stimulating the high-level macro indices and virtuous cycle rather than the vicious cycle. The key thing is that the people in charge of our economy, from the ministries for finance, industry, trade and investment, and so on and so forth, people who are handling our economy should be mindful to keep on stimulating the economy and not let the macro indices fall.
That will really help.
For me,
now, almost finally, let's touch a little bit on the cyber issues.
Okay.
Now, we know fintechs and all of that, but even the banks, some are even saying this is becoming a threat to the banking system, disruptions and all of that. Let's round up with that. Tell us, how far are we gone in Nigeria? Where are we headed?
Okay, so that's an interesting subject that really gets my juices flowing because I have personal interest in cyberspace and cybersecurity space, given my experience in the fintech space. I like to say that we have a unique opportunity. We have a window of opportunity now with the skills and the competence that I've seen that are available locally among Nigerian IT professionals. We have a window of opportunity to build local, homegrown cybersecurity products that can compete favorably with anyone that came from anywhere around the world, from Israel, from Spain, from Europe, from Americas. We have the know-how, we have the competence, we have the capability to build products that can compete with those big brand names. What this will do for us is that this will I believe strongly, I'm a patriot, I believe strongly that this can help to change the negative image that Nigeria has cybersecurity-wise around the world. And if people can start to see that, oh, indeed, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, or whatever the currency is, naira for naira, the effectiveness of these crop of locally homegrown Nigerian solutions is not any less than what they have expected and what they have grown used to by using Israeli products and the other ones. So I believe very strongly that more local players should set up cybersecurity companies. We local Nigerian IT professionals have a certain understanding of the mindset of some of these players that it takes a bit of getting used to for foreigners and outsiders to understand those things. So I believe that we're in the best position to build products to combat this menace.
The work in the ICT expert, thank you very much shedding light on all of this.
Thank you very much.
Positives, I really like.
It's always a
Thank you
pleasure.
for spending your afternoon with us.
Thank you, sir.
All right.